Hello, welcome to our fourth week in our elective course Global and Ethical Perspectives in Cyberspace. This week will give us the opportunity to talk about cybercrime and cyber-related crimes, which is an important topic for us as educators and teachers to be aware of so that we can help our students, their parents, our colleagues, and also our relatives to get informed. If you remember in the previous week, we talked about security and privacy, which are topics closely related to the idea of working with against crimes on the internet, when we use computers, when we surf the web. In this unit, we are going to have the opportunity to talk about cybercrime, types of cybercrimes and related crimes using cyberspace. We're also going to talk about cybercriminals and the distinction between hacking, cracking, etc. For this particular week, the resources that you will have to explore to use are the followings. First, as usual, if you want, you can go online and have a look at the chapter from the book Ethics and Technology, Controversies, Questions and Strategies for Ethical Computing. Or you can check the presentation, which is online, about chapter 7, which summarizes pretty well the main contents. You can also watch this documentary about identity theft. And it's an educational documentary that will help you and help others get informed about what identity theft is, how it works, and what to do to prevent it. Well, these are the resources. Now, let's talk about the specific assignment for this week. This week, the idea is to write a 5-paragraph essay about the use of entrapment and sting operations. When you have a look at the PowerPoint presentation, and if you explore the chapter from the book, you will understand what entrapment and sting operations are. What you have to do is, well, as usual, please read the instructions very, very carefully, follow them, pay attention to what is it that is being asked from you. Particularly here, the instructions are going to ask you to check the PPT presentation and to also complement that presentation with the following link. This link will take you to a very interesting report. Well, it's a note that we can find in Kaspersky about how to protect ourselves against cybercrime. And it talks about what cybercrime is, types of cybercrime, what counts as cybercrime with examples, and how to protect ourselves. So it will complement very well the presentation. Based on the PPT presentation and the link that I just showed you, you are to come here and read this discussion topic. It will give you a situation that is connected to cybercrime, cybercriminals, and how to protect ourselves against them. The idea is that you read this discussion topic and you are going to have to choose whether you agree or disagree with what is being proposed. And using a 5-paragraph essay, you will have to justify your opinion using obviously perspectives from what we have discussed in our online course. Very important that you remember that this is a 5-paragraph argumentative essay, that basically when we write paragraphs, um, essays, we need to first create an outline so that we know what is our thesis, what are our three main arguments or ideas. We have we mm, think about possible supporting ideas and a powerful conclusion. So it's very important that before you start writing, you make an outline. Based on the outline, you will start writing your sentences, you will start organizing the paragraphs. And finally, well, you will have to check grammar, spelling, and punctuation. When you think your essay is ready, please upload a Word file in Moodle specifying who worked on the essay. If it was you individually, or if you did this assignment with another classmate. We can work individually or in pairs, not in groups of 3 or 4, only individually or in pairs. And this is the only assignment we have for this week. In case you don't, you are a little bit hesitant on how to write an essay, I invite you to check the materials that are provided online. This is some information about how to write paragraphs, how to connect body paragraphs, introductory paragraphs, concluding paragraphs. So I think it's very useful. And here you have a good example of what a 5 paragraph looks like. So please have a look at this. And also important to complement this PDF file with some information from this online writing lab, which is an excellent tool, not only for this assignment, but in general terms when you write in English. So feel free to explore the two links. Okay, so I have given you an idea of what this unit is about, the resources, the activity, the assignment. We will have this assignment, you have till next Tuesday. So very important that you notice that. The date when you have to submit it for this particular case. Well, remember that it changes, no? It might change from course to course, but for this particular situation, this is the maximum deadline we have, okay? All right, so let me share now a little bit of information about crimes and criminals in cyberspace. We, as members of society, we always have to face crime and criminals. When we go to the streets, when we walk by ourselves, even when we are at home, we might be robbed, we might be assaulted, we might suffer any kind of crime, and we might have to deal with criminals. Particularly in a society like ours, which with so many conflicts, social, economic, and cultural situations that make people see crime as a way to survive. And we cannot deny the fact that unfortunately many people, apart from having some particular circumstances, social, cultural, and economic circumstances, they also see crime as a job, as a profession, and then we are likely to suffer crime and face criminals in our lives. Now, the thing is that when we go online, when we use computers, when we surf the web, it seems to many people that the safety, security are present, and the idea is that it's not true. Nowadays, that we use computers, as you can see on the first cartoon, we are exposing ourselves to criminals, and the people who are there on the other side of the connection, they might be interested in robbing us, stealing our information, taking our identity, sending us malware, etc. So we need to be conscious that the use of computers, the use of websites, the use of cell phones, the use of technology puts us in danger, and we need to be aware and we need to be informed. Okay, I also want to share with you two other cartoons. Here, many people have been manipulated and they have been played with into believing that somebody's offering them something real. And then, as you can see in the cartoon, people start sharing very private information, sometimes information that is connected to their bank accounts or to their financial status. Also, we might share information that is very personal, very private, and then we need to know that those situations, we need to avoid them. We need to um, be on the lookout. This is just a cartoon to make a little bit to have a little fun, but it's also about what happens in different places. So this is not something that affects us only in, for example, cafe internets. This can happen to us anywhere, anytime. The situation that you see, it's obviously making fun of a person who was supposed to go to heaven, but she couldn't because she was not found on the list of the ones accepted in heaven, and then she was sent to hell. And as you can see, it says, "Sorry for the delay. Someone in hell hacked into our computer." So this cartoon, basically, I am using it to remind us that crimes and criminals are everywhere, and that we need to be very careful, very aware, and we need to know what situations we might encounter and how to overcome those situations. Okay, here when we talk about cybercrime, evidently there are some things that we need to consider. We need to consider that cybercrime is connected to the internet, is connected to computers, but it also has to do with criminals. It has to do with viruses. It has to do with spyware. It has to do with hackers, spam. It has to do with malware. It has to do with attacks. It has to do with hacking, phishing, and then as teachers, as educators, we need to be very informed about what all of these situations are, what they consist of, and what we as teachers, as citizens of the 21st century, are supposed to do against them. Okay, before I show you some information, here we have some trends, some about cybercrime in Colombia between the year 2019 and the year 2020. This is real information taken from the web, published last year in October. And what it says, basically, as you can see, is that cyber attacks have generated losses, financial losses, everywhere. And in Colombia, the amount of money that we're losing, it's huge. So, and it's not only companies, banks, but it's also everyday people, everyday, our schools, our institutions, companies everywhere have been affected. And then if this situation is so serious, we need to be very, very, very well informed about it. We have had more than 50,000 claims and reports on having difficulties with technology related crimes, and particularly in Bogotá, Cali, and Medellin, cities in Colombia, where the number of reports and situations have increased exponentially. And we also need to be careful, and the report shows, with the attacks generated by malware and ransomware, which are two situations that are affecting Colombia and different countries and cities in our continent. Well, this is just to prove to you the importance of the topic that we are discussing this week, crimes and cyber criminals. Okay, what exactly is a cybercrime? It is a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime. It can be hacking, phishing, spamming, or the computer is used as a tool to commit an offense, child pornography, hate crimes. Cybercriminals may use computer technology to access personal information, business trade secrets, or use the internet for exploitative or malicious purposes. Criminals can also use computers for communication and document or data storage. Criminals who perform these illegal activities are often referred to as hackers. Okay, we'll continue in a minute.